Okay, okay, okay. Hello, hello, hello. Wait, everything's on? I can't see. Here we go. Okay, now YouTube thinks I'm online too. Hang on, let me open a browser window. I, oh my gosh. I just unplugged everything. Okay, okay. Uh, Sorry, if you're here or if you're watching this in the future, please forgive me. I am just trying to make sure I'm streaming. I thought I would be able to tell in OBS. I haven't been streaming a lot in OBS. Oh yeah, hey, I can do Friendly Bearded Illustrator. Come on, brain. Here it is. Oh.
Friendly bearded illustrator.
Mustachio?
All right, I'm about to start coloring this little cat. Very excited. I just want to. The YouTube Studio app was not working, so I'm just going to grab it directly from the website. And almost there, just one more click. Boom. Okay, now I should be able to see everything pretty good. Okay, let's get started. I also have the Magic 8 Ball in case we have any questions. Pardon me. All right. I guess we have to decide what kind of cat this is. I think it's an orange cat, right? Okay, let's do something really easy first. Let's grab some yellow. Let's grab this darker yellow and we'll do this is the right pencil, and we'll do this star here. How's this? What's the opacity? Okay, high, but we can control it with the, oh my gosh, I almost made a dumb mistake. I'm like rushing to start because I feel like I'm being dumb because I didn't have the website open or whatever, but here we go. This is better. All right, we're gonna do this star. Again, we're gonna do this star, just this darker yellow. We're gonna do the whole thing real quick. I'll come back for where this, thank you, Oddfud, for where this goes outside the lines here. We'll just come back and erase that after. We have to erase the popcorn anyway. It's better that than like using a really small brush, or you get a less even coat. Like, or we could mask it first, but in Photoshop you can also mask it after, so it's not really if this felt like a masking job, we would just do it. And just do that. And it also is not a huge deal if some of your color, some of my color, gets outside, because just like in real life, there's a lot of reflection and stuff. Like, there's not really any hard lines in real life. And so we don't need any hard lines here either. I don't know, what's that in my throat? Like a, oh, missed this guy. Okay, let's erase this popcorn. This is actually popcorn and cranberries, which is cute. I forget, we drew this on live stream. And so a lot of people had input, and somebody suggested the popcorn and cranberry string. It was a great suggestion. Okay, I'm just going to do multiply to bring all the, and then I'm going to, okay, and I'm going to take this, actually, this bottom part I had done, and I'm just going to separate it out from the other layer because I don't want that to be multiplied so it's underneath. I want it to be on top. So what I'll do is delete it from there, inverse, and delete everything else from that one, and then make this one not multiply, normal. There we go. So I think that's a good start there. I'm going to just kind of bounce around a little bit. Just like when I do my sketches, I don't like to do one part too hard. I'm just going to do these cranberries. This popcorn, I think, is a great place to get stuck in. Yeah, so when I do my sketches, I don't like to do one place super detailed while the rest is lacking. I think it like you end up just having to redo too much stuff if you make a mistake, or not even a mistake, if you just want to change something later. And so instead, what I will do is just kind of do everything, the whole drawing to a certain level, and then come back and upgrade it and upgrade it. I know that's not to say I never focus on a specific part. But just as a general rule of thumb. So mostly I try to color using the color on top of the pencil entirely. So like, for instance, right now I have this red pencil out and it can totally cover this black. And I like to do that because like you don't need, if your color is really good and everything's working out, you don't really need the black outline. Like I like to have some of it or even a lot of it because like my style is this like pencil-y, um, well, is this like pencil-y style. You could see like, what this reminds me of, I was really impressed with 101 Dalmatians, and they're done with pencil and photocopies. The frames, oop, what happened? I lost my color somehow. I hit a button. And my swatches. Okay. We'll have to find the swatches. We'll have to pull a window up. Window, swatches. There we go. It's over here somehow. Okay. Here we go. It's hiding. Swatches. There's the red I was using. And we'll pull this back to what it was. There we are. I don't even know what button I might have hit. I know all the shortcuts. I don't know all the shortcuts. I know I use and know a ton of shortcuts. I can't imagine what could have possibly. Okay, so speaking of Christmas, I was thinking the other day about how I used to say when I was in school, and actually quite a while after school, I used to say die in a fire, or don't die in a fire, rather. I would say die in a fire if I was mad at somebody, which is not a good thing to say if you're mad at somebody. But I mostly said don't die in a fire when people were leaving, as kind of like a goodbye, good luck, Godspeed. You know, don't die in a fire. Standard. It's something everybody says, right? Don't die in a fire. Well, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I can't believe I used to say that. And then that got me thinking about how I used to say, now, after all that, I started saying, like, good luck, or be good, do well, stay safe. And I think that, I was going the other way. Like, don't die in a fire is sort of this threatening, like it's a little weird, a little threatening, and then good luck, stay safe, be good, are all like just very wholesome, and that's where I wanted to go. I'm looking for cat paw pink. I think it's kind of in the red. I think maybe around. Is it on this side? Is it by yellow? Let's do here, and then we can lighten it up and change it if we need to. We'll just get the little toe beans, yeah, that looks an okay color for the toe beans. Man, cats are cute, especially when they like open their little paws and they're like kneading. Yeah, so I used to say like, good luck, be safe. And I would say this to everybody, right? If I was trying to be jokey, I would say like, I miss you already. So one time I was working at this place and the manager would, if the manager was there, they would be the one to run out and go do the bank runs and stuff like that, which is a little weird. Usually you want like the least important uh, person to go do that, the one who does the least. But like, fine. They wanted to do it. It's a little break. I get it. So they would always go do that. And I would say, good luck, be safe. And they got really mad that I would say good luck. And I didn't know this, right? But they were getting like really upset when I would say like good luck, God bless, be safe. I wouldn't say God bless. That's not at work. Um, and I finally, after like months, they confronted me and they were like, I talked to the owner, like, uh, you say this thing. And they weren't like, don't say this thing. They were like, you say this thing. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, why do you say it? And I was like, it's just you know, it's like a generic, like, it's just a kind thing to say, right? Like, good luck. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Why do I say it? And then that was it. They didn't say anything. They told me they talked to the owner and then they didn't, and why did I say it? And I was like, the normal reason, I guess. And then I found out from somebody else. So then the owner was like, could you not? Could you just, did she talk to you about that? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, could you just not say it? And I was like, sure. Like, yeah, I'll say something else to them. I don't, like, whatever, right? Like, this is not a big deal to me. And I found out later that they were going out, they were choosing to do these runs because they would then stop. So I thought then they were also taking their lunch break or whatever. But what was actually happening is they were like stopping and having a couple of beers on like the bank run. It, okay, I should be back. I don't know what happened. Sorry if that. Yeah, so then they were secretly drinking on their breaks and taking extra breaks to do it. And because of that, my innocuous greeting of good luck, which I've said now 100 times during this stream, was like making them feel guilty or like calling them out in some way. And they were like, that's not fair. He shouldn't say that to me. And they were like, don't say that. Oh, yeah. Dang it, internet. What is happening? Am I Magic 8 Ball? Am I haunted? It says I cannot predict now because there's a ghost. That's why they can't predict. Yeah. So what an interesting. Oh my God. So I said earlier that I used to say don't die in a fire when like I was done in a conversation and I would walk away and they'd be like bye and I'd say like don't die in a fire instead of like see you later, have a good night, just don't die in a fire. And one time And somebody used to say, like, one time you're gonna say it, and then they're gonna die in a fire, and how will that make you feel? And I'll be like, if if I said it and then somebody had a fire, it would be the most appropriate time for me to say, "Don't die in a fire," because that's like, what are you talking about? What actually happened, and why I actually stopped saying, "Don't die in a fire," was because I was talking to my friend. I can't remember if it was a couple of brothers, and it was one of the brothers, and I don't remember which brother it was. I think it was the younger brother. So let's say we'll call him Dave. So I say to Dave, we talk. He seems a little weird, a little down, but not that bad. And then I say, okay, well, I'll see you later, man. Don't die in a fire. And he goes, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, what? What happened? And he's like, my stepmom died in a fire last night. And at this point, I'm like, okay, this is a joke. He's like saying, you shouldn't say this. That's rude. And he's going to call me out by telling me his stepmom died in a fire last night. And I was like, but I can't be like, ha, because what if it's true, right? So I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. Like, what happened? And he's like, she put a muffin in the toaster oven and fell asleep, took his Xanax and fell asleep. And at this point, I'm like, this is serious. And I remember that last night there was a house fire in the town I lived in. You could tell there was a house fire, some big fire, because it would just be like there were the emergency like tornado warnings. They'd be like, "Mm," and if there was a house fire or something big, they would go off like 4 or 5 times in a row. And yeah, so I stopped saying "don't die in a fire," even though I still contend it's I'm not like don't die in a fire, but I get why uh, you know someone might be a little. You don't want to be reminded of a fire, a terrible fire. I think I say it when I was young, when I was in first grade, our house burned down. So that was bad. So I empathize. What color should we do? We're doing a little bit around the edges, and I'm happy for that. Why don't we do a? I'm gonna have to take a sip of water. I don't know what color are Christmas lights still this like Christmas light cords, wires still this color. So I think we'll do the Christmas light wire. We'll just, let's make it really opaque. Let's make it so we're just literally, there we go. I think go under that. Yeah, so I don't know. Does anyone have any weird greetings that they say or weird goodbyes? So I was always really weird. I thought about conversations and how conversations would start and end so much. So much when I was younger. I like, and I couldn't leave a conversation. This is my obsessive disorder. Um, I couldn't stop talking to somebody unless they say goodbye, unless it was like very clear that the conversation was over. And so like I wouldn't, oh yeah, green. That's what I thought, but I didn't know. Do they make silver ones to blend in with aluminum trees? And it was really hard. Like I couldn't stop for coffee because I would start talking to somebody at the coffee shop and then I would not be able to leave until like we had a proper goodbye. It it was a strange, and I used to be like this with TV shows. So back in the day, you would put the TV on and it would decide when a show started and ended, and it would be a real problem. Yeah, they should make one. I bet you they do. Oh, they must make white ones for the outside of your house. Uh, we're talking about the Christmas light wire, right? And so Oddfoot is saying we're talking about the colors for Christmas light wire. And I bet you they must make white ones. I think I remember even white wired Christmas tree wire, Christmas tree light wire. Well, you know, I'm saying wire 7 times now. If I started a TV show, it'd be really hard to walk away until the end of the show. I'm like, that's what those TV shows are designed for. And like back then, it was so you would see all the commercials and stay till the end because they would have the big commercial breaks then. And nowadays, it's so you stay on the streaming service and end up watching the next episode, right? And eventually, I was like, my life cannot be dictated by that this TV show hasn't ended, so I can't leave. I have to be able to walk away. And so I just started doing it, and it was hard at first. Um, but I was good. I was just like, just walk away. Who cares, right? And then I was like, you know what? Like this also works for a conversation because instead of standing around for sometimes like half an hour, 45 minutes, feeling awkward and not knowing when the conversation has ended, and then always feeling bad afterwards, and then also being late for things or like feeling like, God, I don't have enough time to do the stuff I want to do, I could just walk away. Oh, this is looking good. Even just the green has really added to it. And like, it's still going to be awkward and weird, but all this other negative stuff isn't going to happen. And so that's just a separate thing. So I learned how to just walk away from conversations to end them, which is a little rude. Uh, I would often try to call back like a nice goodbye, but so though the Christmas tree lights usually have a couple of wires, right? It's usually like braided or like twisted. Oh, I don't I don't think the whole thing needs to be that way, but I think we should do a little bit because I do think that's like more realistic and it's gonna look more correct. And I do want it to look correct. Like a lot of what I try to do is make it feel right. I think that's almost more important than it looking right or being exactly right is if it feels right. I think a lot of art is like that, right? Art is like a magic trick. You it's more important that when your brain sees this for the first time, it thinks, oh, Christmas lights, than it is any individual part of the Christmas light is correct. Um, although, because that is true, I think it's interesting because that's what AI art does. But there's something weird about it. It doesn't do a good job of it. Like, it's still uncanny because, like, it'll do a trick. Like, but I guess it doesn't know that it's doing a trick, but it'll make something that functions as an illusion, a kind of trick that tricks your brain into thinking like, oh, this is that thing, when it isn't really. And then you'll like take a look at it a little tiny bit closer and you're like, oh, this is wrong. This is like obviously this is an AI. A human didn't do this. But why can we tell? Because humans do tricks all the time. So to make art look or to make a picture or something look a specific way. So like how but it feels so easy to tell when it's a human versus when it's the AI. Okay, that just adding that second strand really does make me feel like these are Christmas lights in a way that they didn't before. I'm going to erase this one and move it to the other side because there's this pencil line here and I think it'll be better. Oh, and then I want to do one here. All right. Well, this is really coming together. All right, so we can do, I really want to do this ornament, but I think I'm going to save the ornament for last because I think I will add a reflection of the cat and the star and the cranberry popcorn string in the ornament because that way we can make it really, really shiny. We just grab pieces of that and reflect it and put it in the ornament with a little distortion. And I think that'll look really good. So I guess we could do a little bit more work on the star and get that to be like pretty, or we can do a first pass at the cat. And I think we should probably do a first pass at the cat. Okay, so for the cat, I'm thinking orange cat. Like this cat is in such a mess, right? I think this has to be an orange cat moment. So, oh, what's up, Douglas Day? We're getting this cat drawing all figured out. And I wanted to do this before. I think I did do it before, but my internet was going cronky, so it didn't show it. But here, look at this thing. Have we seen this before? I mean, I've seen it. Have you seen this before? Did I do it?
Friendly bearded illustrator.
He's mustachioed?
Ha, I like that. I'm proud of it. So I know it's like goofy. Oh no, that's great. Man, listening to a song on repeat when that's the feels, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So I don't apologize for that. This cat shoulder, does that seem weird? It like feels like it's, you know what, I'm gonna leave it. If it feels really bad after the color, we can change it. Let's get like a nice orange base for the cat. Let's go a little bit darker than you would think because we won't go all the way dark on it. Yeah, I remember I had some very wonderful times or some very terrible times listening to songs on repeat. I feel like that's one of the weird things about it, right? It's like it's okay, where's my swatches? It's not neutral. You're never like, oh, I was listening to a song on repeat. Hey, for you know, it was a medium time. When you listen to a song on repeat, it's either like it's intense one way or another. I think let's bring this layer that will be the cat color. Wait. All the way down to the bottom, and then let's sure. Yeah, let me know. I think on this computer I'll be able to just copy it and I can like check it out. I did finally listen. Have you been here when I can't remember what their username is, but they keep asking me if I've listened to Stray Kids. Today I did go and I found Stray Kids and I listened to their most popular song and I recognized I heard a little bit of it before. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I have one weird story about listening to a song on repeat. So there's the other side where, oh, don't tattle on me. Let me write that down. Let me put it in my browser. Okay. That way I'll be able to listen to it later. So is this the right orange for a cat? Sort of. I'm going to look up orange cats actually. I know orange cats are the doofy ones. I know they usually have white on them too, right? So we'll put some white. You know what song I've had stuck in my head, different from listening to a song on repeat, is that dang Taylor Swift song with the, you can, 100, keep it 100 in the air, the sea. I'm singing out of key, I think. But I can't escape it. Every time it gets out of my head, there's like, I get a advertisement that just plays it. Like, man, you're promoting the heck out of this song. Whoever pays for the promotion of Taylor Swift's music. Taylor Swift or her record company, I don't know. So I worked at a toy store for a really long time, and uh, the music selection there can be really crazy. And we did have a pretty big CD changer. This is back in the day. And eventually when like, oh yeah, I put in JT Music. Don't worry. Eventually we did get like, back in the day, what was the first? It was before Spotify. It was the first like internet radio. And if you listened to ads, it was free. And if you listened with like, I don't know, like $5 a month or whatever. I think it was called oh, Pandora. And it had like a generative music, just like Spotify. It would tell you like what music you can like next. Yeah, it was Pandora, exactly. And so eventually we got that, but our boss didn't like it. Even though we got like, we were on the kids station or whatever, because we had to listen to kid-friendly stuff, which makes sense. It was a toy store. But yeah, so we had like 6 CDs, and then sometimes it would be like Christmas, and my boss would be like, "You gotta listen to the Christmas CD." What Christmas? I'm sorry, you say Christmas CD? And so so then we would buy Christmas CDs to put in there, so we didn't have to listen to just one. So that was and in is Christmas and Halloween were the two. Because man, Halloween, you're basically just listening to the Monster Mash. It was crazy. Um, okay, let me look up what orange cats look like because this doesn't look bad, but it doesn't really look like um, an orange cat. Okay, yeah, they just have this pattern. Yeah, I don't know why my boss, like, we paid for Pandora ourselves. Like, I don't know why she was so, well, I kind of do. She was pretty weirdly controlling. Um, oh, yeah, yeah. I just, like, I don't know if this is true or not. I'd never heard it until recently that orange cats are dumb or, like, they're the ones who get into trouble. Uh, it could be. I could see that being real, but I've never, until recently, I had not heard this. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this one, but with this color again. And that'll give it like a little, there we go. Because I think we'll end up doing some texture in here too. There's just, oh yeah, that's not bad. I like it. So but that's not the worst. So like, yeah, like one-eared, one-eyed, flying purple people eater, one-eared, one-eyed, flying purple people eater, one-eared, one-eyed, flying purple people eater. Sure looks strange to me. Like I could sing so many kids songs just still because I worked there for like 15 years. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy business. What's the other one that's and I still get them stuck in my head. Like it's been, when did the toy store shut down? Like 7 years ago? Maybe a little bit longer. And I still get these dang songs stuck in my head. It's so funny. The music, the music you're forced to listen to. One thing we did have that was really great was like it was like something world music. I was just thinking about it earlier today, and I knew the name of it. It not not Pandora, that we just did Pandora, but it was a world music, and they had like a whole bunch of different albums that was all different world music, and they would go to different countries and they would record different artists, and it was great. Okay, stop going. Okay, I don't want to get into the weeds and do like every hair on this cat's body. So I want to be careful I don't start doing that, because I think there's definitely a risk that I go too far down this rabbit hole and I start doing every hair on this cat. So I'm going to try to pull away from that intentionally and just be a little bit sloppy, a little bit, uh, try to capture a couple different, like the, the overall feeling of the hair instead of the hair itself. Let's add some white, I think. So do I want that to be a new layer on top? Oh yeah, maybe, because then if it's not 100% opaque, if there's a little transparency, it'll be orange. And if we do it, yeah, this is the right. Okay, now I think we need some pink. I know we have pink in the little paws. Okay, I'm gonna hide these. I'm gonna grab paw pink. Actually, here's paw pink. I want to brighten that up. Hang on. Is paw pink any other? Is it just the paws? That's not that. Is it just the paws? Yeah. Okay. So because I want to brighten this paw pink up, make it like more saturated or make it more, really I want to make it more pink. Oh, should we do the inside of the ears like lightly? Yeah. Ooh, cute Kirby's. That's great. I love doing art. Uh, I remember one of the one of my favorite, and I used to think about it all the time. I guess I probably still do. Pieces of art I did was for my wife in high school. I made her a heart made of velvet. It was a cutout heart made of velvet. And then on the side that didn't have the velvet on, I drew like her name filling the whole thing. And then in all the spaces and all the different letters were different things. I remember one was like a flower, and one was, I think, eyes, because she was really into eyes. Still, she became an eye doctor, so that checks out. Yeah, it was really neat. I really liked, I used to draw things for her all the time. And I drew a lot in high school, but like not art. I wouldn't think of it as art. It was just like doofy stuff. But oh, I used to ask, like, I would fill pages. Something I really liked to do in school was ooh, cute frogs and Kirby. Yeah, like big, round, cute things. That's really great. Oh, thanks for all the hearts. Whoa, so big. What happened? Uh, yeah. And then, yeah, so I would fill pages like that. I like to fill pages so there was like no space left. Whoops. And you run out of ideas, right? So I'd often ask her like, "Oh, what do you want me to draw?" And one time she was like, "A bath." And I was like, "Oh, I can do that." And like this was before we were dating or anything, and like it was kind of flirty, right? Like, can draw me a bath. And I was like, oh yeah, I can draw that. And then, I draw like literally a bath. I remember it was so funny because it was funny to me because like it was this kind of like claw tub. We had a claw tub in an old house that I had lived in. So I drew like a claw tub and then I did like the plumbing because like the plumbing is outside of it. So I was like, really? So it was literally one of these, but I tried so hard to make it like good and like perfect because I wanted to impress her and I wasn't as practiced at drawing. So I was like really trying to do it. And then like there's like all this other stuff around it. It was fun. Mm. Yeah, cute things though, man. Like checks out. Cute things are cute. So, all right. I know we're gonna have to. I do think this doing the different kinds of oranges has really helped. Wait, was I singing that? Because that was just on a TV show and it's definitely stuck in my head, like literally right now. I was going like bum 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 bum. I bet you I did sing the melody. Bum 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 bum. Or did I just say I tried so hard and then that made you think of it? We were just watching Traders, which is like a really good show. It's kind of like, was it Werewolf or something? Except it's people. Wait, no, it's all right, it's like 20 people go into a house. Okay, okay, yeah. That's so funny. Uh Incredible song, incredible album. So like 20 people go into a house and they a handful of them, 2 to 4 get chosen as traitors. And the traitors murder somebody every night. And the rest of them are trying to figure out who the traitors are. So on day one, and then they are all doing challenges to try to earn money. Okay. It's not, I'm not hating it. Let's work on the Christmas lights. So I think, mm, is all, wait, is that one thing? God, I used to know the whole album like really well. Doesn't even matter how hard you try, keep that in mind. It's all I know. Yeah, so you know what's really funny about that draw a bath story is I didn't know she meant the joke draw a bath for like until we were married. Like we got married like, years and years after high school. Like it totally went over my head for like 12 years. I'm just that oblivious. I was just like, it was so cute. I drew her a bath. She's such a weirdo. She wanted me to draw her a bath. And meanwhile, she made a clever joke, like a pun, and I'm just like, ba-ba-dum. I love that. I love it so much. Like, what a fool I am. A fool in love. because like I was just so focused on trying to like I was flirting, like, but in like the can I draw you something kind of way. All right. Okay, yeah, the lights look good. I'm gonna group these two um, layers together here. I'm messing around with the layers. So this one is the white for the lights, and then this one's blank, but I'm gonna group them together so that I know I know that those are the lights without having to click around too much. And now let's choose some Christmas light colors. So I think like a red, but somewhere in here, maybe this one. Let's just go red. Let's make it really bright and we'll figure it out from there. Red, really bright yellow. No, yeah, that one's okay. Red, yellow. Are Christmas lights green? Yeah. Red, yellow, green, orange, I think. Is blue? I guess modern ones are blue. Let me look. I'm gonna look up Christmas light colors. I don't. What are Christmas light, vintage Christmas light colors? So this is one of those times where I'm gonna think about, okay. Oh, white. I'm not doing white. I think like most people won't care what if these are vintage or modern Christmas light colors. But uh, some people will, and those people will prefer vintage Christmas light colors, I think. Like, if anyone notices, they're going to be like, oh my God, it's like when I was young. So I'm going to try for like that, the old, this looks right. Which basically means stay away from like the blue spectrum because that's what makes modern Christmas light colors look like modern Christmas light colors. The goofiest things I do. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that is great. I used to read books, but change them on the fly to make them, okay, so it's like orange slash yellow, green, red, blue. That seems like it's it. Yeah. Okay, let's grab that. And maybe white, but I don't think white. Yeah, I would read books on the fly and like change what they're saying on that. And that was very fun. See that not this light blue, right? Like yeah, like this dark blue. Okay. Okay. Blue and then orange, yellow, green, and red. So let's alter this green. Okay, blue, orange, yellow, green, red. So I want this red. No, the red's good. I want the orange. Swatches, swatches. The yellow. The yellow has to be more orange. I think there. Okay. All right, let's just start laying it on. Yeah, so I would read like oh, actually, no, I better do it while we have these colors out. Let's go orange. You know what I'm gonna do? Slightly bigger. Whoop, too much. How do I want to do these Christmas lights? I think like that, and then we'll have to come back. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I think he is good looking. All right. Orange, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are there? Orange? Well, come on, brain. Get it together. Orange, red, green, blue. That's it. Okay, so 4. Orange, red, green, blue. Orange, red, green, blue. Oh, orange, red, green, blue. Orange, red, green, blue. Orange, red, green, blue. Orange, red, green, blue. That's good. Orange, red, green, blue. Orange. Seems right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, we'll do that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Here, this one. Okay. That's probably right. Let's do blue. Keep hitting the color instead of grabbing the swatches. Okay, I think blue is right also. Now, should I do each one for a different color? I might as well. Blue. We'll do it right after orange. Why not? That way, so this way, this way. Pow. I should do, like, I pulled this one in, but I should actually pull it out so that the lighter color ends up on the outside, so it like fades away. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these should probably be orange. I'll make it blue instead. Oh, hey Yoki Berry, thank you so much. Yeah, I want to do this cat. I do greeting cards. I sell greeting cards at craft fairs and stuff with my wife. And I was hoping to finish this guy off before the Christmas greeting card and before the Christmas craft fairs. My wife makes junk journals. Really cool. It's something I could not do. It's too much like random creativity. That's not quite what I meant to say, but it's sort of true. Yeah, of course, of course. Sorry, I think the chat's a little slow. Oh, that's great, Douglas. My birthday's also coming up. I keep forgetting. Uh, my birthday, let's do green. Hey, 831, 9 American Airlines. Oh my gosh, we had somebody come in. When was it? Yesterday? A couple days ago. Yeah, I figured a ginger cat was more likely to get in this kind of trouble. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I figured. We'll do green on the opposite side of the blues. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're doing the Christmas lights, and then we're gonna do what are we gonna do? Oh, and then I want to do the reflection and everything into the Christmas ornament. And we might clean up this, add some more detail to the cat's fur. We'll do green, pow. Blue, green, pow. Let's do that one again. Pow. Blue, green, pow. Whoop. Come on. Yeah, I figured the neon colors, and then we can maybe add a glow and stuff after if, because what you could do to add a glow is we could do something like this. Bring the opacity down to like 8, maybe even do that, and then do like, let's bring the opacity up a little, it's too low. Too much. But there, just there. And so then if we do that, that could really work, but that's going to be a later stage. Got to bring the opacity back up, bring this back down. We're doing green still. Yep, okay. Oh, thank you so much, Marnie. Yeah, I was like, oh, Roaring Knight, welcome. I was like really, I wanted something on the tail, and like in my imagination, it's like, uh, uh, come on, an ornament like hanging off his tail, and I'm like, that's too cute. But that's not like gonna work. It won't feel real, right? That's the problem. So I was like, okay, what can I actually do to make this something that could have happened in real life that like feels right? And so I did that. And I think it really works. Oh yeah, we'll have to do a green in here somewhere. We'll do that. Well, it's so strong. This is Photoshop. I mainly use Photoshop for color painting. I have a painting app, Corel Paint. Is that what it is? Corel Painter. I got it in a Humble Bundle a couple of years ago, 2023. I really like it, but I have put in so much work. I've been using Photoshop for like 20 years, like 15 years professionally, and I know it so well. So it's okay. Oh, Ibis Paint I've heard of. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting, I don't know about Christmas. I have not thought about Christmas at all. My birthday is in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks from maybe from today. Oh, thank you so much, Roaring Nighty. Okay, I don't know Clip Studio Paint. All right, we're gonna grab the last color, which is red. And then I guess we'll have to go back and figure out, like, did I, oop, hang on. I want to put red on its own layer real quick. There we go. Is this the brightest red it can be? Not quite. Let's do the brightest red it can be. Oh no, I don't like that color red. It's too pink. Okay, hang on. Oh, that's great, Roaring Knight. How's this? This is just basically back to what I had, which I should have just left. Yeah, okay, this is fine. This is good even. We can add, I really don't want it to be the orange. You know, like the modern Christmas lights are made with the LEDs, which is great. They're much cheaper to run. They're much better for the environment. All really good. But they're also very blue towards the spectrum, cool almost. Oh, hey, just Cam. Oh, you are Girl Cam. Got it. I was trying really hard to say your name. What? I just missed this whole string. Look at this one. One, two, like here. Uh, how does, yeah. Anyway, I'll just choose one. We'll make this one red. This one will be red. This one can be red. Is there an orange? There's a blue. What's blue, orange? So blue, orange. This one can be, this one probably would be red. Okay, so now we got to come back and fill in a couple of these because they would not be red. Yeah, so Yeah, this is still in the stages. I haven't, this is not going to be the final color for the cat. I'm just kind of like going all through. Uh, oh, take care, Douglas Day. Thanks for stopping in on this crazy late stream. Okay, so this is red. I'm going to write that down. Red. I have these layers. This one's green. Green. Here, I'll show you. I'm having these layers right here. You see that? Yeah. This one's blue. And then we got this guy. Orange. Okay. Let's see. I guess we should make, no, there's red right there. What would this one be? This one shouldn't be here. That's really the problem. Oh, no, okay. Blue, blue, green. I think that one should be green. I was thinking, no, it's on a different string, that's all. Okay, well, we have green out. What should we do? Red, green. Let's do red, green right here. And let's red and green. Let's do green right here. Ah, it's right next to another green, so we won't do green right there. That's the main rule. I just don't want to put two greens next to each other. Or two, we'll do red, we'll do green right here. All right, now let's do some blues. Oh, that's really great, Marnie. That's my, oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll check it out. Douglas. One of my biggest inspirations, one of the reasons I even wanted to start drawing in the first place is Dr. Seuss. So to hear that really, it makes me feel great. Like that's such a compliment. Do blue here, why not? Do blue here. Actually, let's switch that. We'll do blue here. Oh, hey Noob Draws, welcome. I like your PFP. And then let's go to orange. Pow. Pow. Pow, 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 pow. And we'll just do the rest orange. I think that's, oh man, these really all should be orange, but whoa. People are being loud outside on the street right now. I live above a restaurant, but I think the restaurant's been closed for quite a while. Is this one? It is. No, that shouldn't be orange. We have to make that a different color. Let's just make it red. Yeah, so I'm going in steps. So like the star's not finished, the cat's not finished. Oh, thank you, Winter Devil. Yeah, welcome back. Ooh, Grumpy Cat. The shape of his face is kind of Grumpy Catty. Yeah, so some things that we definitely need to work on. First of all, the eyes, and then this fur texture that we got going on for this cat's color. I'm not loving it, so I'll probably need a different solution. I might just try recoloring the cat. I think I often will do that. Just give it a second try. Yeah, I like anime. I haven't watched a bunch lately, but I like anime. I had to get rid of Crunchyroll just because I didn't have the money for it. Okay. So for the star, I'm gonna do, let's work on the star a little bit. So I want to do some yellows in the star. I want this to read as like gold. So, and then I was contemplating like, do we make it like one of those stars that has the two different, like one of these, what are those called? Like, Is it this? Yeah, one of these. Do we make it one of these guys? What is it called? A barn star. I called it an Amish star, but that makes sense. You think we should make it one of those? And do that. So then like these would have the catch of light, because that's the, and then one side will be dark and one side will be light. We just have to choose, oh wait. Oh yeah, and here too, but that's an in, so we'll do that with a different color. I want to do this on a different layer. Go to erase. Okay, here we go. Actually, there we go. Okay. So one thing that was really hard for me when I first started doing illustrations is I really wanted everything to be perfect. And I think that's normal, right? Why wouldn't you want everything to be perfect? What else would you want, right? But it was detrimental to me actually making art because I would never feel like anything was ever ready to like sell or to show off even or to put in an art show. I would just think it was all terrible basically. All terrible all the time. And yeah, okay. So I had to get better about that. I'm choosing a direction for light to fall. I'm going to say that the light is coming from here. Yeah, that's interesting. It definitely was causing me like so much extra stress when really I should have been enjoying doing stuff. Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. What do they say now? I've heard this expression a few times since I was doing that. Uh, Perfect is the enemy of good. And I think that's exactly right. I think I was going for perfect, but I should have been happy with good enough. I'm like, that's hard. That's a weird thing to choose. It's a hard thing to choose. It was hard for me to choose to like to go with good enough. Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying. So I did mess. That's fine. That's fine. I'm trying to fix. We were just talking about like good enough, and now I'm already like trying to go in and fix something that I think I can just fix with a little shading. There, that looks better. So these are have light hit them almost the same because like I said, I want my light to come in like this, but we're gonna have to make a choice. One of these is gonna have to be darker or lighter than the other. Oh, thank you so much, Creo. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this one lighter. So I'm just gonna hit it twice with the yellow. And then I'll only hit the other one once. So I think that works. This one also. This one I'm gonna leave because no real light would have hit this if the light is coming from where I said. So I'm just going to leave that other yellow. All right. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. I've done like sparkles and stuff where I will create a noise pattern and mess around to try to make it look like glitter. And it can look very much like glitter, but like glitter that you can't like move your head and have it sparkle is, yeah, that is so true, Marnie. Like uh it's not, yeah, even just saying there's no such thing as perfect is accurate, right? Because even when I was aiming for perfect, I was always settling for something. Like I never got it perfect. I just got it like as good as I needed to whatever. I'd be like, okay, this is good enough. But like, why? Why couldn't it have been, you know, it's fine. I don't do that anymore. I'm much healthier because of it. Okay. I'm just trying to like, this one doesn't need really any, just kind of to make it a little bit more, give it a little bit more depth. Oh my God. It's weird to hear people yelling outside. That's not usual. Okay, I like this orange on these, this like darker orange on these lower outlines here. That's true. That's true. I've lived places where that was what I was hearing, so that's really true. This is a good upgrade. Mm, yeah, except I want to now do the orange a little bit. Bow, 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 bow. Pow, 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 pow. Does anyone else make sound effects when they draw? It wasn't until I started streaming that I realized that I do sound effects for so much of my drawing. And a lot of erasing too. On paper, I do a lot of erasing sound effects, and digitally, I do a lot of pew, 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 drawing sound effects. I There's a button on Photoshop, and what it does is, where's my bar? So you see this bar, right? This is your primary color is the yellow. My secondary color is the black. So there's a button on Photoshop where if you hit it, it switches. So you'll be drawing, and then you'll hit it, and the next drawing will be black instead of yellow. Totally fine, right? Don't hit the button. Except on the pen, it's this little button that changes it. And like, I always think like, oh, I should just change it so it's not that. But then in other apps, it's good to have that button be that. And so like, it's just like, it's a deal with the devil. The choice is not great. So I just have to try not to hit it, is the trick. All right, I'm just like kind of getting into the weeds with this one. Let me pull away from the star. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is let me find my cranberries. Where's the cranberry layer? Where's the cranberry layer? Lights, pause. Ah, cranberries. So I'm going to put this cranberry layer up top, and then I also, on the cranberry layer, or actually right below the cranberry layer, I am going to paint some white for the popcorn. And actually I'll do a tiny bit off-white towards the yellow, but just a tiny bit. I'm trying to think, this is probably going to be printed. So do I really want it to be a color, or should it just be paper? Nah, I'll have it be a color. Oh, thanks so much for the hearts. When I'm streaming on the computer, I don't see the hearts very well. Just, I mean, on the desk on paper, I don't see the hearts very well because of the way YouTube works on the way I have to look at the chat and stuff. But here I see them. Hey, Eels, welcome, welcome. I like that I feel like your PFP makes me think that your PFP is an E, but in the shape of, like it's an eel in the shape of an E. You know what? I forgot that I left these cranberries with a little blank spot to mimic a reflection. So I should make these white underneath too. It's either that or, no, I think this is the best option because what I would normally do is go back and um, hey, desert rain frog. Oh, awesome. Thank you. What I will normally do is I'll go back and I will mask out. So basically I'll do the same kind of thing, but instead of painting white, I will erase sort of the stuff that's behind it. But that can be, it's fine, it works. But today I decided to do the white underneath. I think for this drawing it'll be better. Especially because I don't really know where this is all going. So I figured pow pow. This will be safer because then it's just contained within the, basically next to the layer that has the cranberries, I'll have the base layer underneath it. So then even if we do like a background or something like that, I won't have to worry about it. This will be taken care of. The only negative is that I can cover up some of the line work that the popcorn has, but that's not really a big deal. I already did some shading, so it kind of looks good anyway. And I can be careful not to cover it all up. So I don't know if this is it. So I grew up in a town that was settled in the 1600s, right? Forever ago. And we had like one big stone church and then a couple of little like churches uh like around, right? Like there was one big stone church and then there was a couple of little other churches, not the main church. And it's not like everyone went to the big stone church or whatever, but that's just kind of how I thought things were set up, right? You had the big church and like little churches around. But then, like, I started living other places, and man, sometimes it'll be like there'll be 6 churches on like a block, and it's so strange to me. I lived in a town uh, in Pennsylvania called Indiana. That was the name of the town. Indiana was the name of the town. The state was Pennsylvania. And the like on the block I lived on, there was so many churches. I think there was 4. It was incredible. You could literally walk like they 2 of them like bordered each other. And like I don't know, I guess the town I grew up in was very like old fashioned is a good way to put it, which makes sense. It's very like New England. And I forgot what I was going to say. What was I saying about that? Why does that matter? Oh yeah, so like the churches were like Protestant, Catholic, Lutheran. Is Lutheran Protestant also? I'm not well versed. Um, those are your options. Or you can go to the other Protestant church, which is the same church, just like one town over. Yes, Marnie, I totally agree. Like, so I lived then in another town in Pennsylvania that had a really rich history that wasn't industrial. Ugh, where did this red come from? And Okay, it's contained in the lights. I must have just accidentally hit, like I must have accidentally painted the red at some point. Oh, it's not in the red. It's in the orange? Yeah, okay, that's good. There's no orange nearby there, so I can just erase it. That's true. A lot of churches are very peaceful. Okay. So I'm liking most stuff here. Hold on. There's It sounded like there was something making noise over here. All right. I do think the cat and its fur is kind of hit or miss with me. Uh, I love church bells. What is it called? The Oxford Quarters, where it's like bum 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 bum. Uh, I used to be able to hear those growing up, even as like 6 or 7 miles away the church was, and you would still hear those sometimes. I loved it. And then I lived in a town that rang them every hour on the hour and on the quarter hour. And that was great because you'd literally, it'll be like, bum, 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 bum. And you're like, oh, it's quarter past the hour. And it's so neat to like just have that weird little reminder without having to think. Now I live in a place they do not have, none of the churches. I can see 3 churches from my window. If I took the camera over there, I could show you 3 churches out the window. But none of them even have a working clock tower. Like some of them have clock towers, but they are not. Oh my gosh! I was thinking I was erasing, but I was actually painting off-white. Frustrating. Maybe I was erasing. I don't see any more off-white. Hopefully I was erasing. You know what we can do is we can take this and paint it just white and black. Yeah, I loved hearing them. I guess like people are really bothered by it now. Okay, this is some deep fried, but you can see that I haven't used off-white anywhere. This is stuff that I erased on paper. I'm surprised it even made it into the scan, but all right. Yeah, I guess there was a lot of towns when I was reading about it, there was a lot of towns that were like, well, of course we stopped. It was like no one needs it anymore, everyone has a phone. I'm like, it's not the same thing. And then a lot of places were like, we stopped because people hated it. There was lots of people who said they hated it. And when I looked, almost none of those places had done like a meeting or a survey to see if anyone loved it, right? They had just been like, we got a lot of complaints, so we stopped doing the bells. And then in some of those places, then we're like, we got more complaints about stopping the bells after that, but like, you know, what's done is done. I was like, why is what's done is done? So I don't know. In some places, the bells break, right? And they can be very expensive to fix. And a lot of small local churches ain't got that kind of um, life. So I do get that. I think that's for me the most understandable reason. But yeah, like I guess people don't like it, and that ugh, makes me sad. Yeah, I want a different solution than having the drawn on hair. At least as it was, I don't think it was good. So I'm gonna try again. Um, yeah, I also miss, we were talking about, I also miss the clock tower. Like, I love like looking up over the skyline past the buildings to be like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's 11. Like, I used to do that all the time. You could just like look up and like, you don't have to take anything out of your pocket. You just look up. Especially like I lived in a place where I had to walk home. I walked home at night after the bus, and it was like the bus got me to the village at like, hang on, I'm gonna check. This is bad. The bus got me to the village at like it was 9 p.m. or 9:15, and then I had about a mile walk, so not that far, but it would be freezing, right? And sometimes the bus was late, and sometimes this or that. And so to be able to like have your hands in your pockets, be like totally bundled up, and just look up across over the building or down an alley, depending on where it was, and see the clock tower and know what time it was so great. Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do this one more time. Hey, Manthan, welcome back. Oh yeah, so now the town I live in has a bunch of Gothic churches. I guess when this town was settled, and by whom it was settled, uh, they built some Gothic churches. So I'm pretty sure this was a Dutch settlement until eventually it went to the English, like so many places it did. I'm in New York, so um, yeah, and like I don't know, I sometimes we get rid of the old ways, like because some people are annoyed by them and other people don't see the value in them. You see that right now, right, with AI. Like some people are like, oh, perfect, we can get rid of this thing I'm annoyed with. And other people are like, that thing you're annoyed with is great. I use it all the time. I've never been annoyed with it. In fact, I find it useful. And it's this weird, like, this weird thing that's happening. And is always happening. This isn't a new thing, right? This has been happening forever and ever. And it's just interesting. So I think there's, oh, that was too much. Dang. All right, we'll do a little. I think we can get some texture out of this, like doing the varying color grades. And I'm excited to try that. So I was looking at orange cats, right? And like they're mostly like orange and white in differing shades. Oh, was somebody I remember somebody was I was talking to somebody about doing hair. This is oh hey Sandsman. Photoshop. It's the one that still works good on this computer. And uh, oh, I forgot I still had white on here. Yeah, I have Corel Paint also, Corel Painter, and I have a couple of the open source ones, Krita, and I always have GIMP on my computer. GIMP can be very useful for a lot of stuff, but because I'm so familiar with Photoshop, I've been using it for more than 20 years. I I find it really useful still. And like a lot of I like built brushes and stuff here and like it's a little it's a little bit um what is it called? Where it's hard to leave. There's like a name for it when you're like locked in. Yeah, and then I also use the other, like for a long time, my job was graphic designer. And so I was using, and you do a lot of photo manipulation and graphic design, and you do like a little bit of like logo stuff, which you do in Illustrator, obviously, and then in InDesign, you work uh, mostly to get layouts and preprint and all that stuff. Uh, gosh. So I know it's not the most modern one because that does not run good on this old computer. This computer's got a ton of RAM, but uh, medium graphics card and not a new processor. Like the processor works. So I'm still on old Windows and old Photoshop. What's ironic is uh, Premiere. I have the newest Premiere. That works great on my computer, but Photoshop not so much. I heard that the newest update would work, but I'm really bad at keeping my computer like clear of stuff. Illustrator is vector graphics. So at the moment, I don't think I have enough space to install. I don't want to get rid of this Photoshop because you can't still install this from Creative Cloud. Uh, Last time I checked, you couldn't. I've heard that that was like temporary and they put it back, but I don't know. I don't like Creative Cloud. They just advertise the crap when you get into that. Like the creative, what is it actually called? Here, it's in the, oh yeah, Creative Cloud. And you know, you have that to keep them updated and to like, I don't know, make sure they're not hacked or something. I don't know why. I don't like Creative Cloud, man, but they won't let you use anything without it. I miss old Photoshop where you just bought the program and then you owned the program. Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, not Illustrator and Illustrator. So a lot of the time, like somebody will have, what's like one of the more common things I'll do is, well, so I mostly work for myself, but people hire me to make a drawing for them. Like for kids' books, I've had people approach me, although no one's fully hired me for that, but I've done some samples. Um, I've done some illustrations for people's like poetry that they'll put together. I've done a lot of greeting cards, a lot of like just like illustrations. People commission me to do an illustration of like their pet or like something that their partner would really like. So that's my main thing. But no, graphic design, that's graphic. I did graphic design, whoops, mostly for a long time. That was my main thing. And that's way different. I mean, sometimes in graphic design, you will do the job of an illustrator if you don't want to hire an illustrator. Uh, but when I was doing that, I was bad at it. I've gotten better, and now, you know, now I'm an illustrator who used to do graphic design. Now it's nice because I can do my own graphic design, which can save me a lot of money. When I'm sending something off to print, I know exactly what. I worked in printing. That's actually how I did my graphic design work. I was what's called a pre-press setup, and I did also regular graphic design like business cards, wedding invitations, Christmas cards. What else do we do? Menus, brochures, that kind of thing. I don't think I've ever done any product packaging, which is something you like learn in school how to do. Oh yeah, I mostly do it on paper. So this cat drawing was done on paper, and then I scanned it in, and actually it should be right here. Yeah, and I do color on paper as well, but I haven't been doing that lately. We moved and I don't have all my stuff out. And I'm better at doing coloring on, like adding color on the computer. This cat, I don't know why I thought this cat would be an easy thing to color. And then I think orange is like a bad move. I think it makes it worse. But I do think this fur is better than the fur I had before where I was doing like individual hairs. I knew doing individual hairs was dumb. Um, there's some rough spots, but I'm getting closer. I'm just like working my way. Yeah, yeah, definitely, but um, not as much as you would think, I think. A lot of my work I do for myself and then I sell it myself. So that is good because like I'm selling a product, I'm not usually selling a service. Uh, yeah, yeah, but what am I? So because we moved and I'm kind of all over the place, I was working on getting like I was going to illustrate a full kids book just for my own uh, book. My wife wrote a kids book, and I was going to illustrate it. But we moved, and I don't have it all like unpacked. But when I get back to that, that'll be really good because I'll be able to add that to my portfolio. Well, I'll have like a kids book portfolio, and I think that'll help get some clients. And then at the same time, we can try to publish the book or self-publish, which is also good, and have it sold in some local bookstores. So that'll be good. And it'll be nice to have like a whole book under my, yeah, am I drawing the cat? Yeah, this fur should be going down like that. You can see on the line work, that's what I've done. But on this, because I originally started doing um, this color is just like a sweep. I wasn't meant to actually like continue with it, although I have and I've been enjoying it. Um, and then, but yeah, do you know what is it called? The hairy ball problem? Fascinating. So, you know, the hairy ball problem. So, there was a rumor when Cats came out, the the musical movie, right? The what's it called? The disaster. Um, that somebody had to go in and essentially Photoshop out the buttholes after basically the whole movie was done. And people were like, that's ridiculous. That's like they went in and they animated all the buttholes and then they paid somebody to go in and take the Photoshop them all out, like VFX them all out. Like that's what do you mean? So it's finally come out. There was a somebody on the production. I think it was the person who did the buttholes, who photoshopped out the buttholes. They finally came out and they were like, so what it was it was the hairy ball problem. So the hairy ball problem is let's grab like a, well, let's grab a new document. So the hairy ball problem is if you have a sphere, right? It's not bad for doing it on a computer. If you have a sphere and you have the hair, you can't all going in one direction. Eventually, because it's 3D, you'll have a place where they meet and you'll have a cowlick. And that cowlick will be where two parts of hair bump into each other. Instead of doing that, you could have a blank spot, right, where all the hair comes up to the edge and then stops. In animals, it's usually this top one where, you know, all the hair, this hair is going this way, this hair is going this way, this hair is going this way, and eventually, let me erase this. What the heck? Why are you not? Thank you. And eventually, I'm frustrated. Why is this acting like this? All right, there we go. If you start on the other side and the hair all goes out in different directions, eventually it'll all come around and it'll meet here. And it'll kind of look like a fuzzy butthole. And that's what they were having them Photoshop out or VFX out. And that is called the hairy ball problem. I think Pixar discovered it or documented it. They hired a mathematician to figure out if there was actually any way to get rid of it. And no. Essentially, if you want, and oh, that's also the thing, is it's not particular to just a sphere, right? Any three-dimensional shape, whether it's a sphere or a square or, well, I guess without an edge, any like, or a cat, right, will have this problem where, and so like for cats, it's just usually on their belly, right? You'll see like cats will have a couple of different cowlicks on their belly. But for the movie Cats, it just they thought it was unsightly. The cats would bend over, and just like natural cats, they would have these like places where the fur met, like this, and they thought it looked vulgar, and so they wanted it to be gotten gone, and that's what they had VFX'd out. Yeah, I don't mind this cat. I think this might be too yellow. Let's try to move it over a little to the orange factor. It's too orange, somewhere right in there. That is exactly what it was before. That's too red. Yeah, no, I think it's fine. Um, yeah, yeah. So it's a really interesting thing that the hairy ball problem, and they gave it a joke, um, a joke name. I mean, it is what that is. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I never would have thought of it, but I really like math. So for a long time, I did programming as my like hobby. Now I don't have time because I do so much drawing and I'm streaming and stuff. But I'm trying to get my friend to learn to program because if he could do some of the programming and I could do like the art and the programming that he can't do, I would be down for that. But yeah, for now, I'm not really doing any programming. But because I did a lot of programming, I would read a lot of math stuff. I don't know. I guess not everybody who does programming reads math, but I really liked it. I found it helped me a lot. Not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. And that's one of the problems I read about was the hairy ball problem. Yeah, and you can't even really fake it. That's part of the interesting thing because like it I don't know, I've not watched Cats, but now that I know this factoid, I kind of want to watch it and just see what they did to fix, quote unquote, fix the problem. I guess they thought it looked like, well, I already said they thought it looked like buttholes. What? Did I just totally miss this spot? It's like, why is that so white? So, yeah, I I don't know how long I'm gonna mess with the white and orange like back and forth for this kitty cat's hair slash texture, but yeah, I don't know. Because I guess orange cats are usually this kind of like blend of orange and white. That's what I was looking. I looked them up. I just thought I would do a ginger cat. I've never had a ginger cat. I've had calico, tabby, um, is it brindle? Brindle? I haven't had like any Mancoons or anything. Long hair, short hair. But I've never had any, the kind we were just saying. Orange, ginger. Oops. I'm gonna pull this upside down so when I pull these eraser, hmm, eraser marks, they're in the right direction. Tortoiseshell, yes, I had a tortoiseshell. Anti-disestablishmentarianism was tortoiseshell. Yeah, oranges, they are cute. I know people think they're dumb, but I just think they like to get into trouble. I just think they have ADHD. Man. So you know how like they keep discovering, well, maybe you don't. So they keep discovering that animals have very similar psychological problems to us, which like, aw, poor animals. I thought they were innocent, but they ain't. Okay, this is like starting to feel right. I want to do something in his forehead area, uh, and I want to work on some shading, like some darker shading near this, like there and here. So I'm gonna probably do like a much darker orange or maybe just a black. I'll see. I like to try to get everything done without black and then use like light black to um, add depth. But yeah, there must be cats with ADHD. That's what I was trying to say. There was something else I was thinking about. Was it cats? Oh no, it was schizophrenia. Okay, so schizophrenia, right? It seems to be a Western disease. I don't know if you know this, but schizophrenia presents way more in the Western countries, the quote unquote Western countries, right? Than the, wait, okay, than the Eastern countries or, yeah, I didn't make up these differentiations, right? So the Western is like considered, what is it, England, United States? Is it even, is Russia? I'm not even sure. Could be. Anyway, that's not important. But why, right? That doesn't make any sense. are like, for example, are Asian people less susceptible to getting uh, schizophrenia than like ethnically European people? It doesn't feel like it makes any sense. One study seems to shed light onto this. And basically, man, this face is going to be so, I have to be careful. Basically, what they found is this is also true in like certain religious communities. They also don't seem to have as high percentage of schizophrenia as the general population, say in the United States. And they found that this is actually because, or they theorize that this is because in the US, for example, in common normal, if you hear a voice or if you hear voices, they're like, okay, you're crazy, like this is a bad thing and you need to like get this fixed. There's something wrong with you. Whereas like in a lot of countries and a lot of cultures, it's more cultures than countries. In many cultures, and that's why certain subgroups of in the US also seem to have lower rates because of the culture. They're like, oh, you're hearing voices. Now, I don't know any specific one except for the news article I read talked about how in one of the subcultures of the US, there was a group of people, a religious group, who thought if you were hearing voices, it was the spirits of the dead or it was saints or something like that. And so when somebody was like, oh, I'm hearing voices, they'd be like, oh, that's great. You can communicate with the saints. Like that's really cool. And then they wouldn't be considered schizophrenia. It didn't have any negative effect. And what I thought was really interesting is it wouldn't even be considered schizophrenia. Like the diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia at the time, and I don't know if this is still true, was if it had a negative impact on your life and or work or whatever. And so for a lot of people, it wouldn't have met red, orange, orange, so this would be blue. It wouldn't have met the diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia, even though they would have had exactly the same symptoms. And that's crazy to me. What's interesting by making the criteria about like how much of an effect it has on one's life, you can make it so if you're really wealthy and you can make it so the only difference between somebody is their how much money they have, and yet they are diagnosed differently because, say, addiction, right? A lot of addictions, it has to do if it has a negative impact on the rest of your life. And for example, if you're middle class or lower middle class and you get addicted to golf, right? You're spending all your money on golf clubs, on club memberships, on new balls, on clothes to go to the course, on going to different courses, and you can't pay your rent or you can't pay your car insurance. That would be considered an addiction. If you're just as addicted to it, addicted colloquially, not medically, but you have a trust fund, it therefore has no negative effect on your life, right? You can still pay your car insurance, you can still pay your rent. It has no negative effect on your life, even though you're spending just as much money and you're just as into it and you're just as crazed about it. That would not be diagnosed as an addiction. I just think that's interesting. I don't really know what to say about that. Okay, I think we need something darker. Let's look at a cat. I know we have cat Cat pictures. Orange cat. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so, whoa, calm down, spacebar. So in Photoshop and a lot of drawing and painting applications. Yeah, yeah. So I believe there is a movement that wants to separate this out and try to find a more objective, no, yes, a more objective diagnostic criteria because right now it's very subjective, right? Um, yeah, I think it's fascinating. Hmm. What brush do I want to use? I think I'm just going to use a very standard, this is like a black pen brush. It's based off of when I was doing a lot of inking and line art. I would use this because it mimicked the dip pens that I use in real life. But sometimes this can be useful with some edits. So this is a good base brush. And now we'll pull up that orange that I just had. That's the darker brown orange. Let's actually make this a little bit more orange. All right, so now we have that, and then we can also make it so the opacity depends on how hard we push, and that's useful. Hmm. Actually, and then we'll pull the flow down, and then that'll make it so, you know what? I think this is good, but let's actually not have the opacity dependent on how hard we're pushing, and let's just overlap things if we want there to be more opacity. So that way we can get some pretty thick lines without having to make it super, what is it? Super like, whoops, opaque. Wait, yeah, super opaque. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. No, not loving that. I'm trying to think. So I'm trying to think how to, like, they're kind of tiger stripy, right? I don't really want to get in there and get crazy with the tiger stripes, but maybe that's just what I have to do. I think if I'm going to do that, I'm going to use overlapping kind of to make the fullness. So we'll do like a very low opacity. So it's not going to be tiger stripy here, it's going to be like on the side. So I'll make it a very low opacity and we'll just kind of do that. And then that'll give us some blending, some natural blending too. Because in order to get that one dark stripe, I'll have to overlap a bunch of other ones. So that's not bad, but it's not right either. Okay, let's make it smaller. Let's make it more orange. I think even more orange. Hmm. I'm not like hating any of it, but I'm not loving it. I think maybe we need a more imaginative brush. So I have this one that I use for doing, okay, it's frozen. that I use for doing like background color can be really useful. Oh my gosh. Okay. Actually, let's just do a little background color. Let's see. Orange cat, so we'll do like a blue-gray background. Okay. And then I'll just pull a line this way, and then we can erase what we don't like underneath it. Oops. Let's see what that looks like. Not bad. We don't even have to erase. We can go like this. Hmm. Whoops. Just do it the normal way. Wait, is this full? Let's just do black pen. That's great. And we'll just mask it out. I don't know why it's getting all freezy. Come on, guy. There we go. So yeah, we'll just mask out this background. And then that way, if anything moves or we want that background to be like we accidentally make a mistake and we want the background to actually exist in more places, we can just unmask it, right? This was great. Like usually in masking, you're doing a painting and you're masking the actual thing before you do the painting. And so, ugh, too dark. And then why don't we do this? Kind of. All right. How did I grab this? These things are so hard to grab, these little... Somehow I grabbed exactly. Okay. Yeah. I don't love the background. I mean the like floor, but I don't hate it either, so just gonna leave it. It's a good placeholder. I definitely want to do more with the cat, but I just don't really have... Like, I don't have a plan. I do not know. Sometimes it just gets to doing that. So, yeah, I think I have to like look at more orange cats and really get a feel for it. And we can bring this in a little bit. That'll be useful. Maybe this is the right brush for it, but we'll have to make it a lot more transparent so we can build up layers. think that'll probably work. And then we can also go along with the... This is still not anywhere near as transparent enough. Oh, it's because I adjusted the eraser instead of the dang brush. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should stop for the night. I'm getting a little punchy. I'm like telling stories about the DSM. Actually, I think this is working. I have that, is it Ophelia? The Taylor Swift song stuck in my head. I don't think I've ever listened to this. Wait, did I say that this stream? That it keeps getting advertised to me? Like, you would think that everyone who's ever wanted to listen to Taylor Swift are already listening to Taylor Swift. And it's crazy that I'm still like they're still at in the year of our Lord 2025. Like whoever is in charge of spending Taylor Swift's money is like, it might be Taylor Swift. It might not be her money. Somebody else might be advertising it too, right? Like record companies make money off of it and stuff like that. But you would think that like they'd be like, oh no, like everyone, no, they're like this guy. This guy needs to hear. I haven't done a Twitch stream. I did like a gaming Twitch stream with my buddy until he stopped wanting to come. He, he never, it was never gonna work. Well, it was great when he could show up. Um, and I have been thinking about doing a drawing Twitch stream, but no, I don't have a Twitch stream yet. I don't know, like, how would I choose when to Twitch and when to YouTube live stream? I'm at a loss. I do think this is coming better, better together. Yeah, like, yeah, I wonder what, so like today I did 2 YouTube streams, and I guess one of these could have been a Twitch stream. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I build a little bit more of an audience on YouTube, I'll start thinking about that kind of thing. Or like I do have people in the Discord. I guess we could ask them if any of them use Twitch. They say so I'm like a baby content creator, right? Like I've been doing it for a year, so I'm like okay at like making my own content, but I'm not like I don't have a lot of followers or anything like that. But they do say that you should try to diversify um, and get people to follow you on other platforms because you never know what these platforms are doing and like if they're going to be there tomorrow, basically. And so if you have people on different platforms, that can be really useful. I don't think this is bad. I think we can like, oh, that's it turned all the way up. We can visualize. We can change the hue a little. So that's it if he was purple. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it gives it some variety. A little tiger stripey. I mean, I think that reads like a ginger cat. We haven't even added the shadows in yet, so I think that's great. From a distance, it's going to be printed. It's probably mostly going to be printed, or maybe even entirely, it'll be printed on. Oh yeah, love Hues and Cues. My wife and I play that a lot, or with the family. It's probably going to be printed on greeting cards, which are going to be 5x7, so it's probably fine. It's going to be about that big. I mean, I guess that's really small because people are watching this on their phones. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's really fun too when the people you're playing with, like, somebody was playing and they were like, you don't say the color, instead you try to describe, was it the feeling or they were doing a place? I can't remember, but they like added an extra rule basically. And they were like, we want it to only be this. And then like I was playing with my nephew and he was saying like super specific things that only he knew. And we were like, that's not okay. So then it was just like us trying to figure out like what he meant by like last Thursday at 12 p.m. or whatever. I don't know. That's not exactly what it was, but it was that kind of example. He was like the vacation I took in the second grade field trip, and you're like, that bro, none of us were in second grade with you. What are you talking about? And then I played with my other nephew. It was a few people. It was like a big group actually. It was last Thanksgiving, and he was like, he just started naming Pokemon, and it was me and his brother were the only people who even knew a little bit, but he had been just playing them, so he was like very specific. And then his brother hasn't played Pokemon in like probably a decade, maybe more, since he was much younger. And then like I only know from the cards and like Pokemon Go, and I don't have a good visual imagination or memory. So I was like, oh, Gengar's purple, I think. I don't know. But yeah, fun game. And I feel like people can be really good at it, which is interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna change. We have these orange Christmas lights. Come on. But I feel like they were just blending straight in. So I was just gonna change them to be a little bit more yellow, but keep them in the same like color family. Oh, that's great, Sandsman. I worked as a bowling alley mechanic for about a year, fixing bowling machines. And I bowled a lot because I got free bowling when I did that. And it was great. And I learned how to bowl. I'm still not great. I'm like, I think my best ever game was like 186. So, not very good, but not bad. Oh, nice. Yeah, I got good at I couldn't do a strike every time, but that's what I was going for. I really enjoyed it. I found it to be um, just really fun. I found also I bowl left-handed, and I do most things right-handed, but bowling, definitely left-handed. Hmm. Spares are hard. Like, strikes, like you get into a rhythm and it's practice, right? You get your personal, you line it up and you learn like where you can hit that pocket between the front pin and the whichever, if you're left-handed, the with the 2 pin, and if you're right-handed, the 3 pin, right? Wait, 1, 2, 3, the other way around. Um, and you just like that's what you get good at, right? But spares, like that's different every time. You have to like figure out. And I think what I didn't know for a long time, but I learned was the lanes have oil on them. And sometimes if you're just doing pickup bowling games, they won't re-oil the lanes. They'll only oil them for like league nights and stuff. And that oil, man, can make all the difference to how a ball moves on on the lane. So like you really have to know how the lane is oiled or be able to like read it. And that can be hard. But fun. Yeah, I just moved to a new place, so I was looking at the bowling alley and I was wondering if it was good or not because I went one of the places I lived before, the bowling alley was really bad. It was just like basically they weren't really open for free bowling ever, and when they were doing if they weren't doing leagues, they were just drinking. It was like a bar where people pretended there was bowling. Oh yeah, I love those eyes. That came out really good. I am pleased with myself. I've never done this weird green for eyes. This like minty toothpaste green. I use it for text sometimes because it really jumps out in like a thumbnail or something. But I prefer pink for my thumbnails. Man, so now we're down to this. I think I'm gonna make this red. I have, we have the yellow, we have the green for the bow. The only thing is we have the orange and then we have the red and the popcorn and the cranberries. So then the only other thing is this Christmas ornament. What color are we gonna make the Christmas ornament? Hmm, I don't know. So I was kind of thinking, yeah, I was thinking, okay, you're kind of where I was. I was thinking like a champagne color. Something like that. Well, maybe I want more of a pink, like a pink yellow. Yeah, because I was thinking I don't want it to be orange like the cat. Because I also want to do a reflection of everything in the room on the ornament. So here, let's just give it a slop on and see what this looks like. Whoa, okay. That was not what I was thinking it was gonna be, but yeah, sure. Here, we'll do it this way. I'll pledge allegiance. Oh, it's I'll pledge allegiance. I'll pledge allegiance to the song. Sing. I don't want to sing that song. Taylor Swift is great. I didn't say anything negative about Taylor Swift. I think Taylor Swift is mostly fine. I mean, you know, she's a billionaire who puts a lot of carbon into the air, and I think that's terrible. And like, I know she's like that, like she hasn't said anything about it, which is fine. But I know people are like, well, how would she blah 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 if she didn't do that? And I'm always like, just don't. Like, why does she do that? To make more money, right? Like, just don't. Hmm. I think that's pretty good. This will be silver. I'll deal with that later. Yeah, so I don't, I was thinking there's two things I could do here. We could literally paint, say we'll grab, like, get a whole layer and just, like, grab the yellow from the star and kind of, like, paint it in here like that. And then, you know, grab the red from the cranberries and kind of paint them in here like that. And then I guess grab the orange from the cat and kind of, let's get this a little bit less hard and a little bit less, um, paint him in here like that. Can we get the bow? It'll be like back there. Ah, that's not terrible. And then we'd have to go in with the lights and be like, pound, 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 pound. Whoop. Pound, pound. Whoop, I already did green, I'll do yellow. Wait, what? And blue. Oh, thank you so much. Hey. Shh, shh. And then the ground. Let's bring this cranberry thing back. Oh, the popcorn. Like, what was I thinking? Of course the popcorn has to be reflected. I was like, it's white, so it doesn't get reflected. But that's dumb. I don't know why my brain was like that. It was so silly. Okay, I think the star could use a redo. Let's do this one first. This one. Hey, Fried Official Noob Crew, welcome. Fried Chicken Lord the Third. Fried Chicken Lord. I knew the father, Fried Chicken Lord Jr. the Second. Okay, actually, this is really funny. Not today. I do a lot of request streams. So if you check me out another day, I could almost certainly draw something. Well, what are you thinking? Just curiously. I think we'll do. Wow. Okay, so I had a friend growing up. I'll make up a name for him because his name is important, and I don't feel like saying his name. Um, oh, thanks so much. Uh, gosh, let's just call him uh, John Jason Smith, right? That's his name, John Jason Smith. And his father was John Jason Smith as well. And his father's father was also John Jason Smith. So you would think my friend would be John Jason Smith III, right? He was not. He was John Jason Smith the second, John Jason Smith Jr. the second, because he was not named after his grandfather, John Jason Smith the first. He was named after his father, John Jason Smith Jr. His father really didn't like his grandfather, right? So his dad, my friend's dad, John Jason Smith Jr., hated original John Jason Smith, John Jason Smith Sr. And so then my friend was John Jason Smith Jr. the second, and his dad was John Jason Smith Jr. So that, or John Jason Smith Jr. Sr. and John Jason Smith Jr. Jr. But they did first and second. That was his legal name. Oh yeah, I'll draw some penguins. I draw penguins pretty often. So if you definitely, I stream most days. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow because it's very late now. And so I'm I did the double stream today and tomorrow's Sunday. So it's possible that my next stream is Tuesday, but usually I stream most days. I might even stream tomorrow, and I almost certainly will stream Monday, even though it's technically a day I don't stream because I like streaming, so I stream a lot. Um, yeah, but I think I will call it a night. Thank you so much, everybody who's in. Actually, you know what? Let me do these Christmas lights. Let's give them the pop, pop, pop that they deserve before I go. So we're just gonna grab some red for the red. Actually, do we have these in the swatches? Yeah, not really, because that's red. We'll grab the red. A strand of grass. Huh. Like, whoa, too bright, too big. Because I'm going to layer it so many times, I think I have to bring it pretty far down. Okay, that's what we need. Let's bring it back up to opacity like 12 or even 15, and then make it so however hard we push on it, there. Okay, now obviously I don't want it on yellow. On yellow, don't be dumb. Okay. And then we might even, underneath this glow of red, we might even add, let's try it. Let's add a little bit of white. Aw. What was your dead cat's name? I shouldn't say dead cat. What was your cat's name? It's always sad. It's always sad when cats die. I'm gonna turn the brightness all the way up on this red. No. I feel like, it's too late now. Let's add the white underneath and see how that comes out. I think it helps. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a cat. I don't think. Okay, that is as bright as it gets. What was? We had a cat that we renamed, but I can't remember what her original name was. But we called her Soxies. Okay, that's all the yellow. Now we'll do blue. I'm going to turn it all the way up in brightness. Take care, official noob crew. Thanks for coming in. I'm sorry for your loss. Whoops. Okay, we want to do it on its own layer underneath the blue. I don't know why this is so hard to concentrate on. Okay, oh, yep, all the blue, wait, all the blues, and then what's the last one? We did orange, we did blue, oh, green, doy. Boom, green is nice, very bright. Let's go. All right. I mean, I think that's, if not done, I don't know what's next. Wait, what is this? Huh. I feel like this red might need to be redone. Let's just redo it while I'm here. Get rid of you. Give me a new one. Red, as bright as red can be. Okay. Okay. I'm happy I redid the red. I think this looks much better. All right. Thanks, guys. It was fun to have everybody. I'm pretty happy with this. The only thing I might mess around with, I mean, off the top of my head, is like this guy. Like we could change some colors and see what we liked. But I think probably the color that we have. What just happened? Oh, doy. Probably the color that we have is the best. The only thing I was thinking of was like green, like a dark green. Hmm. Oh, you know what I need to do? Gosh. Is this guy? Okay. Might be a little bit more in depth than I thought. So I was gonna just use the lines as and like just paint it a color instead of like trying to paint the actual thing. But I think I'll paint the actual thing. And then that's gonna be a little bit more in depth because we'll have to make some choices and well, it's a really small part actually. So we don't have to make that many choices. We can just kind of bang it out. Not red. No, not that. There we go. Okay, a little bit of Invisiblue. Here. There we go. Two, not invisible enough. I just need to come in here with white, I think. Eh, it's not for me today. We'll do that last one bit tomorrow. All right. Bye. Thanks so much for stopping in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the little hearts. When you click on the little heart. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the advice. Thanks for the help. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, kitty kitty. Meow. How do I close this? How do I end